So hello everyone. Today's my topic is about industrialism and utilitarianism in hard times. It will be going as a critical exploration of Dickens' social commentary. Here is my personal information, and we are going to discuss hard time and its theme, utilitarianism and its influence. Then we will be going to discuss contrast between fact and fancy. Then we will explore the topic of characters and symbols of industrialism and utilitarianism. Then we will explore. Then I will explain Dickens as a critic of industrialism and utilitarianism. So first of all, Hard Time and its themes. It was published in 1854. Its setting is in industrial city of Coketown, a representation of a negative aspect of industrial revolution. So industrialism and utilitarianism are two separate and different from each other. First, industrialism, it focus on the machinization, factory work, and dehumanization effect of industrial progress. Then utilitarianism is the philosophy of the greatest good for the greatest number, which emphasize on the rationalism, efficiency, and quantifiable outcome, often at the expense of individual needs, emotions, and humanity. So there are some themes of it. First is depiction of Coketown. Second is the dehumanization of workers, and the third one is the impact on society. So depiction of Coketown. Coketown symbolizes the worst aspect of industrialization. Pollution, monotony, and exploitation is described as a city of smoke, where the labor force is treated as a mere cogs in a machine. Dehumanization of workers. Workers like Stephen Blackpool are shown as expendable, trapped in a cycle of relentless labor, which with little opportunity for personal fulfillment of advancement. Then impact on society. The rise of factories leads to the loss of individuality and creativity. The workers' worth is measured only by their productivity, and their lives are dominated by the repetitive task. Then utilitarianism and its influence. Utilitarianism, a philosophy which reflects the facts over feelings. It is presented by the character of Thomas Gradgrind, which was already presented in Bhumi and Divya's presentation. So here we will briefly discuss it. So Gradgrind embodies the utilitarian philosophy of facts, and facts. He insists that education should focus only on facts and figures, dismissing imagination, emotions, and creativity as irrelevant. Then practicality over humanity. Gardner's worldview drives the lives of his students, especially Louisa and Tom, who suffers because they are taught to discard emotional development in favor of pure logic. Contrast between fact and fancy, which can be called the battle of fact versus imagination. Education under Gradgrind and the effects of children. We will explore it. So first is education under Gradgrind. So Gradgrind's system represents as the harsh utilitarian ideal, where only facts are valued and imagination or creativity is seen as frivolous and unimportant. The effect of children, Louisa and Tom, emotionally stunted by their fact-driven upbringing, suffers in their adult lives. Louisa, in particular, is unable to experience the true emotion and faces personal tragedy due to her emotional detachment. Then, characters and symbols of industrialism and utilitarianism. First of all, is the Thomas Gradgrind, represent as the industrial era rationality and utilitarianism that prioritize logic over human emotion. His obsession with facts makes him incapable of understanding the emotion needs of other. Second is Louisa Gradgrind, a symbol of emotional toll caused by utilitarianism. She becomes trapped in a loveless marriage to Mr. Boundary, a factory owner because she has been taught to suppress her feelings and romantic ideals. Stephen Blackpool, a working class man who embodies the human cost of industrialism, despite his moral integrity and love for his wife, he is cursed by the system and cannot escape his socio-economic situation. Then Dickens is a critic of industrialism and utilitarianism. First of all, moral and emotional laws. Dickens critiques how both industrialism and utilitarianism cause the moral decay. Characters like Louisa and Tom suffer not only because of economic system but because they lack emotional education and personal growth. Second is the need of compassion. Dickens argues that the society cannot function solely on fact, efficiency, and logic. He advocates for a comparison, imagination, and a more balanced approach to life, where reason and emotions can be coexist. Rejection of a pure rationality. Through the downfall of character like Gradgrind and Vanderbilt, Dickens shows that a purely rational utilitarian approach to life leads to misery, especially when applied to human relationships and personal development. The legacy of a hard time in a modern society. In a timeless critic, hard times remains relevant today, especially in the discussion about the dehumanization effect of industrialization, technology, and reliance on data and efficiency in modern life. Utilitarianism in the 21st century. In today's world of big data, economic optimization, and algorithms decision making, and novel critics of utilitarianism remains pressing. The dangers of reducing people to number and quantifiable outcomes are still very real. A call for balance. Dickens' work advocates for a balance between logic and human emotions. This message resonates in contemporary debates about work-life balance, education system, and the impact of technology on personal well-being. Here is some of my references, and now you are free to ask your any queries or question.
So, Bhargav, my question is, what is the main purpose of a writer in showing fact and fancy in habits?
Showing fact and fancy is the one of the most important themes which is represented in hard times, where the writer wants to convey that only fact or fancy cannot be uh, the base of any improvement. Like one should need to create a balance between fact and fancy. That's it.
So, Bhargav, my question is, which one affects most industrialism and utilitarianism in hard times?
We can say that industrialism can be called the central or the most effective element in a hard time because it provides the environment that causes the utilitarianism philosophy, and it is providing a base to its philosophy. Thank you.